when we would start to staff a project, we would talk about who's going to be the project manager, who's going to be the superintendent, who's going to be maybe the assistant superintendent. And then we always would go into a deep dive about who's going to be the pusher. And I remember the first time I got brought into this dialogue, I was like, what's a pusher? And they're like, oh, it's the guy who just constantly is driving the project forward, constantly keeping the subs on track, constantly looking at that timeline. They're the one that is not looking at the 3-week look ahead. They're looking at the 6 to 7-week look ahead, right? And so I was like, that's amazing. I want to be that pusher. I want to be the person who is just driving the dream, driving the project. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The push, okay? Not the Instagram version of push, not the hustle laced version of push. I'm talking about often uncomfortable and always scared push, the one that happens when you're done staying stuck. When you know something has to change, but you don't yet know what it's going to cost. Think of it as you're at the base of a mountain, and maybe you've just actually tumbled down from a steep climb of the mountain, but you're at the base of the mountain, and here it comes, the push. This episode is for anyone who's ready to get uncomfortable, ready to let go of safe and step into significant, ready to stop waiting for clarity and move forward with conviction. So let's go. Or better yet, let's push. Push, P, perseverance, and the valley dip. So let's start in the valley. This past week, I was listening to a 7 to 8 call. If you don't know what a 7 to 8 call is, it is a call where somebody explains their journey from a 7-figure net worth to an 8-figure net worth, which is said to be one of the hardest jumps to make. And the beauty in that call is you get to see their journey, not only on a graph of their net worth, but also of their income. So you can see different parts where maybe you would see a dip, and then it would spike, and then it would come back down, and then it would go up, and then it would come back down and go up. And the one thing I think of every time I see those graphs in those 7 to 8 calls is perseverance. It's quiet. You may be, feeling in your head about, is this going to be the path for me? Should I keep going? Should I get back up and start climbing that mountain again? Because you're bruised, right? You've just had a loss, or maybe it's a pivot. Maybe it's a betrayal. Maybe it's a partnership that went bad, or a deal that went bad, or a what did I just do moment, right? We've all been there. Every real entrepreneur has. You look at the balance sheet, the inbox, the team, and you wonder, am I building or am I bleeding? That's when perseverance shows up. Not as hype, not as motivation, but as muscle. Perseverance is the decision to keep climbing when the path isn't clear and the ROI hasn't shown up yet. It's not glamorous, but it's where the real character gets built. And let me say this clearly. The valley isn't the end. It's the proving ground. Unshakable vision. You have to know what mountain you're climbing, because if you don't, you'll chase every summit someone else says is a success. You'll start to climb someone else's path with someone else's gear. Unshakable vision is what keeps you focused when the fog rolls in. It's what reminds you this isn't just revenue, it's about legacy. It's not just about scaling, it's about stewardship. And here's the kicker. Vision gets cloudy when too many people are in your head. So let's talk about that. You would not buy a car without vetting it, right? If you're like my husband, you're going to look at the Carfax, you're going to look at Consumer Reports, you're going to get every piece of information, the history. Was there any accidents, the maintenance, the wear and tear before you buy that car? Maybe even before you go to the dealership to test drive, right? Yet we let people drive our decisions, our mindset, our business without ever checking if they've built what we're trying to build. That's not strategy, that's sabotage. And if they haven't done the work, they don't get the mic, period. We have got to start vetting those that speak into our business, speak into our minds. All right, S, strategic surrender. Sometimes the push isn't about more effort, it's about more surrender. Letting go of who you thought you had to be, letting go of timelines someone else told you mattered, letting go of mentors who once served you but no longer stretch you. Surrender is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's how you reclaim control by releasing what no longer aligns. For me, this often shows up as releasing false urgency, releasing comparison, releasing the story that I have to earn rest. Right? I have to work towards this vacation, or I have to earn it. Or if I don't do this, then no one's gonna like me, or I don't really have that one, but if I don't do this perfect, everybody's going to be upset. It's all going to be my fault. And releasing those false sense of urgency, those false stories on you allows you to have freedom in the surrender. Because when you surrender the noise, you make room for strategy, for God to speak, for the truth to rise. And then you get to the H, holistic happiness. What's your North Star? Because if the push isn't leading you to peace, to purpose, to the kind of life you actually want to live, then what's it all for? Holistic happiness isn't about balance. It's about alignment. Are your decisions, your investments, your team, your time align with the life you say you want? If not, it's time to get honest. Sometimes we push because we're chasing, but the push I'm talking about, it's about creating, about building something worth living in, not just looking at, or building something that makes a lasting impact. Legacy isn't built in burnout. It's built in alignment. So let's flip the narrative, right? Here's something I've seen. We give strangers the benefit of the doubt, and we give ourselves the burden of proof. We label others with brilliance, and we label ourselves with limitations and doubt and limiting beliefs. So let's flip that script, right? What if you spoke to yourself the way you speak to your best friend? Or better yet, what if you wrote a letter as your future self, maybe 10 or 20 years from now, and you let her speak back to you today? What would she say? Would she say, thank you for not quitting in that valley? Would she say, this is the season that shaped you more than any win ever could? That's the voice I want you to tune into. I want you to take some time and write that letter to yourself, or even voice note it to yourself if you're not a journal or writer. Speak to your future with compassion, not critique. Let her guide you up that next mountain. If you're in the middle of a push right now, I see you. You don't need another surface level answer. You need strategy, you need vision, and you need alignment. Because the push isn't a punishment, it's a passage. It's how you become the person capable of carrying the vision you've been given. So don't run from discomfort. Don't numb the climb. Feel every inch and keep going, because what's waiting for you on the other side of the push is peace, purpose, and the life God already wrote with your name on it. He's putting something special in your heart right now, whether it's to move forward into a business growth, or maybe it's a professional push or personal push, or maybe it's to step into that development is going to change your community. It's going to make a lasting impression. It's going to leave that legacy you want. I want you to sit in the push, sit in that strategy. And when you're ready, let's go. Hey friend, before you go, I want to say this. If real estate development has been on your heart or on your mind, we've built lanes to help you walk it out wherever you're starting from. Just exploring? Start out with our free live masterclass. Ready to do the reps and build the strategy? Join the Developer 101 Bootcamp. Already active and need to level up? Step into the Real Estate Development Academy. You don't have to figure this out alone. We can teach you, we guide you, and we walk with you. So head over to katiekim.com and book a call with our team today, and let's figure out the best first or next step for you. You're not behind, you're not too late, and you're definitely not too early. You're right on time. Let's go. The information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. It's not financial advice. It's not investment advice. Real estate development, like any investment, carries risk. Before you make decisions, You should always consult a licensed professional, your attorney, your CPA, or your financial advisor, to name a few, to make sure you're making the right choice for your situation. I'm here to share insights and strategy, but you're responsible for your own decisions, and each situation is unique. So make sure you contact your professional team to give you your specific guidance for your specific case, as each real estate development's different and unique and has its own challenges and opportunities.